Welcome to English Story Journey. Today I have a story for you all that I'm sure you will love. The story is about love. Love is something that no one knows when or where it will happen. Sometimes love comes into our life suddenly, but it doesn't always go the way we want. Not everyone can be with the person they love. So today I'm going to share a story about that. In a busy city, there was a tall, handsome boss named Aryan. He was strict, always focused on work, and never smiled much. In his office worked a smart and beautiful employee named Ria. She was confident, stylish, and great at her job, but she and Aryan never got along. They argued over small things, and both thought the other was arrogant. Ria found Aryan cold, while Aryan thought Ria was too stubborn. One day, the office had a big project with a tight deadline. Everyone was stressed, and Aryan was stricter than ever. Late at night, when most people had left, Ria stayed back to finish her work. She was tired and made a small mistake in a report. Aryan noticed and was about to scold her, but then he saw how exhausted she looked. Instead of shouting, he quietly sat down and helped her fix it. Ria was surprised. For the first time they worked together without fighting. They talked, laughed a little, and shared coffee. That night something changed. Over the next few weeks, Aryan and Ria started noticing each other differently. Aryan admired Ria's hard work and creativity. Ria saw how Aryan cared for the team, even if he didn't show it openly. One evening during a team outing they ended up talking alone. Aryan shared how he felt pressure to be perfect, and Ria admitted she judged him too quickly. They smiled and their walls came down. Soon, small gestures grew into something more. Aryan would leave a coffee on Ria's desk. Ria would tease him to loosen up. They spent time together outside work, sharing dreams and fears. What started as dislike turned into deep care. One rainy evening under an umbrella, Aryan looked at Ria and said, "I never thought I'd fall for you." Ria blushed and replied, "Good thing we both stopped being so stubborn." Their love wasn't perfect, but it was real. They learned to listen, support, and grow together. From enemies to lovers, Aryan and Ria proved that love can bloom in the most unexpected places, changing everything forever. Aryan and Ria were now deeply in love. Their once tense relationship transformed into something beautiful. They kept their romance private at work, but their stolen glances and secret smiles didn't go unnoticed. The office buzzed with whispers, but the couple stayed focused on their jobs and each other. Life felt like a dream, but love, as they soon learned, comes with challenges. One day, a big opportunity came for Ria. A rival company offered her a higher position with better pay. It was her dream job, but it meant moving to another city, far from Aryan. Ria was torn. She loved Aryan, but she had worked hard for her career. When she told Aryan about the offer, his face fell, but he forced a smile. "You should go," he said softly. "This is your chance." Inside he was breaking, scared to lose her. Ria felt the same, unsure if their love could survive the distance. For days they avoided the topic, but the tension grew. At work they were professional, but their hearts were heavy. One evening, after everyone left the office, Ria found Aryan staring out the window. She walked up and they stood in silence. Finally Ria spoke. "I don't want to lose you, but I don't want to give up my dreams either." Aryan turned to her, his eyes soft. "I'd never ask you to give up anything," he said. "But I'm selfish enough to want you here." That night they talked for hours, sharing their fears and hopes. Aryan admitted he was afraid of being alone again, while Ria confessed she worried about regretting her choice. They realized love wasn't just about being together, it was about supporting each other's dreams. Together they made a plan. Ria would take the job, and they'd try long distance. Aryan promised to visit often, and they'd make time for calls and trips. The day Ria left was bittersweet. At the airport, Aryan held her tight, whispering, "We'll make this work." Ria nodded, tears in her eyes, but her heart was full of hope. Months passed, and it wasn't easy. Late-night calls sometimes ended in arguments, and missed visits hurt. But they kept their promise, working hard to stay connected. Aryan sent Ria little gifts to cheer her up, and Ria surprised him with weekend visits. 1 year later, Ria's success in her new role led to a promotion that allowed her to return to Aryan City. When they reunited, it felt like no time had passed. They hugged, laughed, and cried, stronger than ever. Their love had faced distance and doubt, but it grew deeper through trust and effort. Aryan and Ria knew they could handle anything as long as they faced it together, proving that true love doesn't just change your life, it builds a future. Back in the same city, Aryan and Ria's love felt stronger than ever. Ria settled into her new role at the company she'd joined, while Aryan continued leading his team with a newfound warmth that surprised everyone. They moved in together, turning a small apartment into a cozy home filled with laughter, late-night talks, and shared dreams. But life, as always, had more tests for their love. One morning, Aryan received news that shook him. His company was facing financial trouble, and there was talk of layoffs. As the boss, he felt the weight of responsibility, working long hours to save the business. He grew distant, burying himself in stress, and Ria noticed. She tried to support him, cooking his favorite meals and listening when he spoke, but Aryan's fear of failure made him push her away. "I'm fine," he'd say sharply, but Ria knew he wasn't. At the same time, Ria's career was thriving. Her confidence and success made her a star at work, but it also sparked jealousy in Aryan. He hated feeling this way, but he couldn't help comparing himself to her. One night, after a long day, they argued. "You're always so perfect," Aryan snapped. "I'm drowning here, and you don't even see it." Ria was hurt. "I'm trying to help, but you shut me out," she replied. The fight ended with silence, and for the first time, they slept without saying goodnight. Days passed, and the tension lingered. Ria confided in a close friend, who reminded her that love means patience, even when it's hard. Meanwhile, Aryan's best friend told him to open up before he lost Ria for good. One evening, Ria came home to find Aryan waiting with a simple dinner he'd cooked. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice low. "I'm scared, and I took it out on you." Ria's eyes softened. "I'm here for you, Aryan, but you have to let me in." They talked honestly, laying bare their insecurities. Aryan admitted he felt unworthy of her success, while Ria shared her fear of losing the man she loved to his stress. They promised to face their challenges as a team. Aryan started sharing his worries, and Ria helped him brainstorm ideas to save the company. Together they found balance. Ria learned to give Aryan space, and Aryan made time for their relationship. Months later, Aryan's hard work paid off. The company stabilized, and he saved most of the jobs. At a small office celebration, he pulled Ria aside and thanked her. "You believed in me when I didn't," he said, holding her close. Ria smiled. "We're better together." That night, under the stars, Aryan proposed with a simple ring. "Will you stay with me through everything?" he asked. Ria, tears in her eyes, said, "Always." Their journey wasn't perfect, but it was theirs. Aryan and Ria learned that love isn't just about the happy moments. It's about growing through the hard ones, hand in hand, building a life stronger than any storm. With Ria's yes to Aryan's proposal, their love entered a new chapter. The couple was overjoyed, planning a simple yet heartfelt wedding surrounded by family and friends. Their apartment buzzed with excitement as they picked colors, tasted cakes, and dreamed of their future. But as the wedding day neared, a new challenge tested their bond, one that neither saw coming. Ria's parents, traditional and protective, had doubts about Aryan. They respected his success but worried about his intense work life and the age gap between him and Ria. During a family dinner, Ria's father voiced his concerns. "You're so young, Ria. Are you sure he can give you the time and stability you deserve?" he asked. Ria defended Aryan, but the words planted a seed of doubt. She began to wonder if their different life stages could create problems later. Aryan sensed Ria's unease but didn't know the cause. He was busy finalizing wedding plans and managing a new project at work, which left him distracted. One evening, Ria tried to talk about her parents' concerns, but it came out wrong. "Do you think we're rushing this?" she blurted. Aryan froze, hurt flashing in his eyes. "Do you not want this anymore?" he asked quietly. The conversation spiraled, and they parted feeling misunderstood. For the first time, Ria wondered if love alone was enough. The next few days were strained. Ria threw herself into work, while Aryan stayed late at the office, both avoiding the tension at home. But love has a way of pulling people back. One night, Ria found an old photo of them from their first team outing, laughing under that rainy umbrella. Her heart ached. She realized she didn't want a life without Aryan, no matter the challenges. Meanwhile, Aryan met Ria's parents alone, determined to ease their fears. He spoke honestly about his love for Ria and promised to always support her dreams. Slowly, they began to trust him. That weekend, Aryan planned a surprise. He took Ria to the park where they'd shared their first real conversation. Under a tree, he set up a picnic and opened his heart. "I know I'm not perfect and I work too much sometimes," he said. "But I choose you every day and I'll keep choosing you." Ria's eyes filled with tears. "I got scared," she admitted. "But I don't want anyone else. I just want us." They held each other, rebuilding their trust with every word. The wedding day arrived, radiant and full of love. Ria's parents, now fully supportive, beamed as Aryan and Ria exchanged vows. "Through every storm I'll stand by you," Aryan promised. Ria smiled, saying, "And I'll love you through every sunrise." Their kiss sealed a bond forged by trials and triumphs. As they danced under the stars, Aryan and Ria knew their story wasn't just about falling in love. It was about choosing to stay, to fight, and to grow. With every step, they built a love that could weather anything, proving that the greatest journeys are the ones you take together. Aryan and Ria's wedding marked the start of a new adventure, one filled with hope and promises. They settled into married life, balancing careers and their cozy home, where mornings were spent sipping coffee together and evenings were for shared dreams. But life, ever unpredictable, soon brought a challenge that tested their vows in ways they hadn't imagined. A year into their marriage, Ria discovered she was pregnant. The news brought joy but also nerves. Both were thriving in their careers, and the idea of parenthood felt daunting. Aryan was thrilled but worried about balancing work and fatherhood. Ria, meanwhile, grappled with the thought of pausing her rising career. Late at night she confessed, "I'm scared I'll lose myself if I slow down." Aryan held her hand, promising, "We'll figure this out together. You'll never lose who you are." As Ria's pregnancy progressed, challenges piled up. Her demanding job left her exhausted, and Aryan's company faced a sudden crisis when a major client pulled out. Stress crept into their home, and small disagreements turned into bigger fights. One night, after a long day, Ria snapped, "You're never here when I need you." Aryan, drained, replied, "I'm trying to keep everything from falling apart." Hurt, they slept in silence, the weight of their words lingering. The distance grew, but their love refused to fade. One morning, Ria found a note from Aryan on the kitchen counter. "I'm sorry. Let's fix this. I love you." Touched, she called him and they agreed to talk. That evening they sat down, no distractions, just them. Aryan admitted he was terrified of failing as a husband and father. Ria shared her fear of losing her independence. They listened, really listened, and made a plan. Aryan cut back his hours, delegating more at work. Ria decided to take maternity leave but negotiated a part-time return to keep her passion alive. When their daughter Aria was born, everything changed. Her tiny hands and big eyes melted their fears. Aryan, once so serious, became a doting dad, singing lullabies off-key. Ria found strength in motherhood, balancing it with her career in a way that felt right. They weren't perfect. Sleepless nights led to grumpy moments, but they leaned on each other. Aryan would make breakfast when Ria was tired. Ria would surprise him with a quick lunch date at the office point. One evening, as they watched Aria sleep, Aryan whispered, "We're doing this, aren't we?" Ria smiled, resting her head on his shoulder. "Yeah, and we're doing it well." Their love had grown through every trial, disagreements, doubts, and new responsibilities. They learned that marriage wasn't about avoiding storms but about dancing in the rain together. Years later, at Aria's 5th birthday, Aryan and Ria looked at their little family and the life they'd built. From rivals to lovers, from newlyweds to parents, their journey showed that love isn't a single moment. It's a million choices to stand by each other, no matter what. With every sunrise, they wrote their story, one of unshakable love and endless hope. Aryan and Ria's life with Aria was a whirlwind of joy, chaos and love. Their little girl brought laughter to their home, her curious eyes and endless questions filling their days with purpose. But as Aria grew, so did the demands of their busy lives, and a new chapter brought a challenge that pushed their love to its deepest edges. Aria was now 7, starting school and bursting with energy. Ria had returned to work full-time, leading projects that thrilled her but left her stretched thin. Aryan's company was thriving, but a new opportunity arose. A chance to expand the business overseas. It was a dream he'd long held, but it meant months abroad to set things up. The idea excited him, yet he hesitated, knowing it would strain their family. When he shared the news with Ria, her face tightened. "What about us? Aria needs you here," she said, her voice sharp with worry. Aryan sighed. "This could secure our future. I thought you'd understand." The air grew heavy, and they parted without resolving the tension. Weeks passed, and the decision loomed. Ria felt torn, proud of Aryan's ambition but scared of managing alone. Aryan sensed her strain but felt pressured to prove himself. Small moments of connection, like bedtime stories with Aria, were overshadowed by clipped conversations. One night, Aria overheard them arguing and asked, "Are you mad at each other?" Her innocent question hit hard. Ria and Aryan looked at each other, realizing they were drifting apart. Determined to reconnect, Ria suggested a weekend getaway, just the two of them. They left Aria with Ria's parents and drove to a quiet lakeside cabin. Away from work and routines, they opened up. Ria admitted, "I'm afraid we're losing what we had." Aryan took her hand, his voice soft. "I don't want to choose between my dreams and you. I just don't know how to do both." They talked late into the night, sharing fears they'd buried. Ria's worry of being overwhelmed, Aryan's fear of letting them down. They agreed the overseas plan was too much for now. Instead, Aryan would explore local expansion, and Ria would set boundaries at work to protect family time. Back home, they leaned into their promise. Aryan coached Aria's soccer team, cheering her on with pride. Ria carved out evenings for family dinners, where they laughed over Aria's stories. They also made time for each other. Date nights, quiet walks, moments to remember why they fell in love. The strain didn't vanish overnight, but their efforts rebuilt trust. One evening as they tucked Aria in, she giggled, "You're happy again." Ria squeezed Aryan's hand, and he smiled, knowing she was right. Years later, at their 10th anniversary, Aryan and Ria celebrated with a vow renewal. Surrounded by friends, family, and a beaming Aria, they spoke of their journey. "Love isn't always easy," Aryan said, looking at Ria. "But choosing you every day is my greatest adventure." Ria laughed, tears in her eyes. "And I'll keep choosing you through every crazy moment." Their story, from rivals to soulmates, showed that love is a tapestry of choices, woven through sacrifice, forgiveness, and unwavering commitment, stronger with every thread. Aryan and Ria's 10th anniversary renewed their commitment, filling their hearts with gratitude for the life they'd built. Aria, now a spirited 9-year-old, was the center of their world, her laughter echoing through their home. Their careers flourished. Aryan's business grew steadily, and Ria led innovative projects with confidence. But as they entered this new decade of marriage, an unexpected twist challenged their love in ways that tested their strength and unity. One evening, Ria received a call from her mother. Her father had fallen seriously ill and needed long-term care. Living in another city, her parents relied on Ria, their only child, for support. The news hit hard. Ria felt torn between her family in the city, Aryan and Aria, and her duty to her parents. She shared the news with Aryan, her voice trembling. "I might need to spend weeks there, maybe more," she said. Aryan nodded, supportive but worried. "We'll make it work," he assured her, though both felt the weight of what lay ahead. Ria began traveling back and forth, spending weekends with her parents while managing work remotely. The strain was immediate. Aria missed her mom, asking, "When's mommy coming back?" Aryan juggled his job and parenting, trying to keep things normal for Aria, but exhaustion crept in. Ria felt guilty, stretched thin between her father's bedside and her family at home. Phone calls with Aryan grew brief, focused on logistics rather than love. One night, tired and frustrated, Ria snapped over the phone, "I feel like I'm doing this alone." Aryan, drained himself, replied, "I'm holding everything together here. What more do you want?" The call ended abruptly, leaving a cold silence. The distance, both physical and emotional, grew. Ria confided in her mother, who reminded her that love endures through sacrifice. Aryan, meanwhile, talked to a mentor at work, who urged him to show Ria he was still her partner, not just a co-parent. One weekend, Aryan surprised Ria by driving to her parents' city with Aria. When Ria saw them at the doorstep, she broke into tears, hugging them tightly. "I didn't realize how much I needed you," she whispered. Aryan smiled. "We're in this together, no matter where we are." They spent the weekend caring for Ria's father, and Aryan's presence eased her burden. Late at night they talked honestly. Ria admitted she felt overwhelmed, while Aryan confessed he'd been scared of failing her. They made a new plan. Ria would stay with her parents during the week, but Aryan and Aria would visit every weekend. They'd share the load, even if it meant tired drives and packed schedules. Aryan also encouraged Ria to lean on her team at work, while he adjusted his hours to be there for Aria. Months later, Ria's father began to recover, and the family reunited at home. The ordeal had tested them, but it also deepened their bond. They celebrated small victories, like Aria's school play where she shined, or Ria's promotion, earned through resilience. One quiet evening as they sat together, Aryan said, "We've been through so much and we're still here." Ria nodded, her hand in his. "Because we choose each other every time." At Aria's 10th birthday, surrounded by loved ones, Aryan and Ria reflected on their journey. From rivals to lovers, through parenthood, loss and sacrifice, their love had weathered every storm. They knew life would bring more challenges, but with every choice to stand together, they wove a love story that grew richer, stronger, and more beautiful with time. Aryan and Ria's love had weathered countless storms, emerging stronger each time. With Aria now 10 and Ria's father recovering, their family felt whole again. But life, ever unpredictable, threw a curveball that pushed their bond to the brink, leading to a painful separation, only to bring them back together through a powerful realization. As their careers soared, Aryan and Ria faced mounting pressure. Aryan's company landed a massive contract, demanding late nights and constant travel. Ria, meanwhile, was spearheading a high-stakes project that consumed her energy. Aria, caught in the middle, began acting out at school, missing the attention she once had. The couple tried to juggle it all, but cracks appeared. They argued over missed dinners, forgotten promises, and whose turn it was to handle Aria's schoolwork. "We're not a team anymore," Ria said one night, exhausted. Aryan, defensive, replied, "I'm doing everything I can." The fight ended with slammed doors and a growing chasm. The breaking point came when Ria, overwhelmed, suggested they take a break. "Maybe we need space to figure this out," she said, tears streaming. Aryan, stunned, agreed, though his heart ached. They decided to separate temporarily, with Ria moving into a small apartment nearby. Aria stayed with Aryan during the week and Ria on weekends. The arrangement felt wrong, but neither knew how to fix the hurt. Aria, confused, grew quiet, asking, "Are you getting divorced?" Both reassured her, but doubt lingered. Weeks apart were agonizing. Ria missed Aryan's warmth, his steady presence. Aryan felt lost without Ria's laughter filling their home. At work, colleagues noticed their spark was gone. One day, a school incident changed everything. Aria, upset, ran away from a class event, and the school called both parents. Rushing to find her, Aryan and Ria met at the park where Aria was hiding. Seeing their daughter's tear-streaked face, they hugged her together, their hands brushing. In that moment, the walls crumbled. I don't want to lose you, Aryan whispered. Ria nodded, choking back tears. I never stopped loving you. They took Aria home and talked for hours. The separation had been a wake-up call. Ria admitted she'd let work overshadow their family, while Aryan confessed he'd stopped listening to her needs. They realized their love hadn't faded. It was buried under stress and pride. Determined to rebuild, they sought counseling, learning to communicate openly. They set boundaries. No work talk after 8 p.m., weekly date nights, and family time with Aria. Aryan scaled back travel, and Ria delegated tasks at work. Months later, Ria moved back home. The first night, they cooked dinner as a family, Aria giggling as flour dusted their faces. The house felt alive again. Their love, once fractured, grew deeper through honesty and effort. On their 11th anniversary, they renewed their vows privately, with Aria as their witness. We fell apart, Ria said, but we chose to come back. Aryan smiled. And I'll choose you forever. Their journey, from rivals to lovers through separation and reunion, taught them that love isn't unbreakable. It's a fragile gift, strengthened by choosing each other through every trial. With Aria's hand in theirs, Aryan and Ria faced the future, their hearts woven tighter than ever, ready for whatever came next. Marked a turning point, strengthened by family counseling and a renewed commitment to each other and Aria. Now 11, Aria was thriving. Her confidence restored as her parents rebuilt their home with love and intention. But as they settled into this happier chapter, a new event tested their resilience, threatening to pull them apart once more. Only to unite them in an unexpected way, Ria's company offered her a prestigious role, leading a new branch in another country. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but it meant relocating for at least 2 years. Ria was torn. Her career had always been a core part of her identity, yet she feared disrupting the family's hard-won stability. When she shared the offer with Aryan, his face clouded. We just got back to being us, he said quietly. What about Aria? What about us? Ria felt the weight of his words. I don't want to lose what we have either, she replied. But this is my dream. The conversation ended unresolved, and a familiar tension crept in. The next few weeks were strained. Ria wrestled with her decision, while Aryan struggled to support her without hiding his fear of another separation. Aria, sensing the unease, grew anxious, clinging to Ria more than usual. Memories of their past break haunted them, and small misunderstandings flared. One night, after Aria went to bed, Ria and Aryan argued. You're shutting me out again, Ria said, frustrated. I'm trying to protect us. Aryan shot back. The silence that followed felt too much like their old wounds reopening. But this time, they leaned on the tools from counseling. Instead of letting the fight fester, they agreed to talk with their counselor's guidance. In a session, they laid bare their fears. Ria worried she'd regret passing up the opportunity, while Aryan feared losing the family closeness they'd fought for. Aria, in a separate session, shared her sadness about possibly leaving her friends and school. The counselor helped them see that the decision wasn't just about Ria's job. It was about their shared vision for the future. Inspired to find a solution together, they brainstormed. Aryan suggested a bold idea. What if the whole family moved? His company had grown stable enough for him to manage remotely or open a small branch abroad. Ria's eyes lit up, but she hesitated. What about Aria's school? Your work? She asked. They researched, finding international schools for Aria and local opportunities for Aryan. It wouldn't be easy, new country, new routines, but it felt like a shared adventure, not a sacrifice. Though prepare, they involved Aria, explaining the move as a family journey. They showed her pictures of the new city, promising visits home to see grandparents. Aria, though nervous, grew excited about new friends and places. Ria accepted the role, and they spent months planning, from visas to packing their lives. The night before the move, they sat in their empty apartment, surrounded by boxes. Are we crazy? Ria laughed. Aryan grinned, pulling her close. Maybe. But we're doing it together. Settling abroad was challenging. Language barriers, cultural adjustments, and homesickness tested them. but they faced it as a team. Aryan found joy in exploring the new city with Aria, while Ria thrived in her role, her confidence inspiring them all. They made new traditions like weekend picnics in local parks, and kept old ones like video calls with family. One evening, as they watched the sunset in their new home, Aria said, "This is our adventure, right?" Ria and Aryan nodded, their hands entwined. On their 12th anniversary in a new country, they celebrated with a quiet dinner. "We've been through so much," Aryan said, raising a glass. "And I'd do it all again for you." Ria smiled. "Here's to us wherever we go." Their love, forged through rivalry, separation, and bold leaps, proved that no distance or challenge could break them. With Aria by their side, Aryan and Ria wrote a story of courage, unity, and a love that grew stronger with every step into the unknown.